Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we discuss one of the best haute horlogerie watches you can buy for the money. A timepiece that gives you an eyeful on the case back and minimalism on the dial side. This is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Thin 38. 38 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel. It is only 6.4 millimeters thick with knife-like edges. It is 44.9 millimeters from lug to lug with a broad and contemporary 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. This watch is the successor to a watch I owned, the Master Ultra Thin 34. This is a little bit more contemporary, but as you can see, it is just as thin. Because it has a cupped case back that's stepped in from the case band, it doesn't look like it's 6.4 millimeters thick. It looks like it's 3. It's incredibly slim. And it's narrow across the wrist to the point that I could recommend this watch for a 13.5 centimeter circumference wrist. It goes without saying, this is a great dress watch, a dress watch par excellence that will fit easily down the underside of a sleeve. Taking a quick look at the strap, you can see it's navy blue. It is semi-gloss, large rectangular scale alligator leather. It has a folded edge, a monotone stitch, calfskin on the bottom. You can see this is the latest JLC strap design with pull tab spring bars. And we have a double folding clasp, something not universally equipped on JLC watches anymore, especially on a two-hand watch like this. It's nice to see that this is a slightly older model at a time when you still got a generous full folding clasp from JLC, even on a two-hand dress watch. The case is remarkably slim to the point that you can actually see the stem tube assembly sits underneath what appears to be a shrink-wrapped case back. And then there are little screws in the back of the case that actually thread into the bezel on the other side to keep the whole thing together with such hermeticity that JLC can rate this to 50 meters, not the 30 meters that's standard in dress watches or the 10 to 20 that's standard on ultra thins. This is genuinely impressive. The case has lovely integrated lug profiles that come to tapered ends. The bezel is flat and conical. Everything's of high polish. We have a JL branded and quite understated crown. We have a silver sunburst dial that splays out from the center. It has lovely rayon. And then we have half-frosted Dauphine-style hands, half-frosted for better contrast against the dial base. We have a dimple-style minutes track. We have little cabochon outboard of the Arabic numerals at the quarters. Then we have faceted dart-style applique hour indices. So this is no printed dial. All of the important elements are rhodium-plated steel and applied rather than printed on. Two hands, because that's all you need. Flip it over, and you could see JLC manufacturer caliber 849. It was based on the previous 839, which in turn was related to a movement that JLC created for AP and Vacheron back in the 50s. AP started using it in 1953. Vacheron started using it in 1955. AP called it the 2003. Vacheron called it the 1003. It was almost thin to a fault, as that original 802 Abauche was 1.65 millimeters thick. Over time, JLC made improvements to that movement to create what you have here, which is 1.85 millimeters thick. Still extraordinarily thin, to the point that when this movement goes back to the factory, specialist watchmakers who typically work on high complications devote their attention to these 849 movements. They're considered to be complications from a skills check perspective, and it is a beautifully made movement. You can see the anglage is quite attractive. The Côte de Genève, gorgeous. We have a combination of polished locating pegs. You can see them. They're used to locate the various bridges, and then they're polished on their top. And then we also have fired blued screws. You can see there are a couple of black polished screws too, such as atop the ratchet wheel, atop the crown wheel, and atop the click. You could see that there's engine turning on the base plate, setination on the wheels. There's even one interior angle on the cock for the escape wheel. You'll appreciate that the regulator is entirely black polished. It is genuinely impressive with solarization on the crown wheel and then circular satination on the ratchet wheel. And if you look carefully, I don't know if you could see it on the camera, but the teeth of those two wheels have actually been beveled on their side. That is not something you get on modern-day JLC movements. Manual wind, it beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour, pivots on 19 joules, and it has a 35-hour power reserve, which is impressive impressive considering the original version, the 802 Abausch in the 50s, had a 31-hour power reserve. It is a beautiful thing to observe. It has a very traditional drivetrain layout with a center wheel like a pocket watch, and the whole movement's only 20.20 millimeters across, but again 1.85 millimeters thick. And as you can see, it's been through the Master 1000 hours control. So whereas many movements of this size and slimness do not actually have any kind of regulation standard other than just make it work, JLC put this watch through a battery of power reserve, chronometry, water resistance, and durability tests lasting 1,000 hours, and is a fully cased up watch, not as a bare movement. So this is an everyday watch. This is not a delicate daisy to pull out for the occasion of weddings and black tie dinners. This is one to wear all the time, well, except when you're swimming. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.